Hello and welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. I am your host, Mukail Tinubu, aka the most athletic host in Nigeria. I play football, so don't get it twisted. Welcome on the show. It's the evening of Wednesday, and we have a lot to discuss. And I'm joined on the line by Gboyega, ready to tackle some of these sports stories from around the world. Gbenga, good evening.
Good evening, Mikhail. It's nice to be here. And it's also good to hear from you. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. It's been kind of difficult to lock you down. I think you've been on international duty, haven't you?
You could call it international duties. It could be national duties. It could be domestic duties. But duties is what is the synonym here, and the man that's the hustle.
Well, welcome. When I'm home, people don't know this, but I like to relax with some football simulation games. It helps to unwind from the day, which some people might find strange because I spend almost the whole day looking at sports stories, talking about sports, and some people might wonder, how can I get home and relax with more sports, watching football, watching tennis, watching anything I can get my eyeballs on, and when I can't do that, I'm playing simulation games. But when you live and breathe something, it's pretty much white noise to you. You must feel the same way.
I agree with you. But when you were speaking, I remember I've had this discussion with friends over time, and we talk about what do you do when you relax? What do you do when you rest? And I'm like, I watch football when I rest. And people will be like, really? You still watch something? Are you not supposed to sleep? Some other people, the only meaning of rest to them is when you sleep, or when you close your eyes, or when you lie down. I can go to work from the morning, come back at 9 p.m. and my own idea of rest is to go watch a Champions League match that is from 9 to 11. And I'm relaxing in my own way, even having had a hectic day earlier. So I totally understand you. Our idea of rest might be strange to some people if they don't see it the way we see it.
Well, one thing I love to fantasize about is the Nigerian game being on a level that is comparable to the European one. I remember back in the day when growing up, all you heard about was Enyimba, Enyimba.
Yeah.
Now, Enyimba isn't as loud with its success as it used to be in my childhood, but they are still very much one of the very best teams, Nigerian League football teams, and they've just done something. They've won their ninth title, and it's a big deal. NPL, the Nigerian Premier League, it's a big deal. They deserve all the credit, and someone else thinks they deserve a lot of credit, and for that reason, he has gone ahead and rewarded them. Enyimba players have been rewarded with a 20 million naira cash gift for winning the 2022-2023 Nigeria Premier League title. Abia State Governor Alex Otti doled out the money to the players. Erstwhile chairman of the club, Felix Anyansi Agu, head coach Finidi George, his assistants, and other support staff will get varying sums for their efforts. Governor Otti promised to reward the players and the officials after hosting them at the government house last weekend. Enyimba won the title at the NPL Super 6 playoffs held at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon, Lagos last month. It was the People's Elephants' 9th NPL title, and it brings me to an age-old debate. Public ownership versus private ownership. We've talked in the past that the league overall could benefit from private ownership more so than the current model that we have, which is dependent on the whims of the governor who is in charge of doling out and assigning money and resources to such clubs. In this instance, though, Enyimba have done well, and 20 million naira has been made available to reward the players, and even the staff are going to get some compensation for all of the effort they've put in throughout the season. But money like this isn't easily doled out when it's private ownership, because when it's the owner of a car selling business, he may not have that level of cash lying around to dole out and award to players, even though in effect they are just doing their jobs. They are already getting paid, and the payment they're already receiving is meant to be a justification for them to go all out and do their very best. In this case, when it's government ownership, there's so much money to be rewarded to good performances. What do you think?
Totally agree with you, but I think we need to put context to government ownership, because it's not just government having control of the club, it's government having structural control of the club. I mean, Enyimba are not the only government of the country, but we know how other clubs are run. You can go to Europe and mention the likes of Man City, who are state-owned by a certain conglomerate, talk about PSG and the likes of it. They don't just own these clubs because they have money. They set structures in place. And look at Enyimba, like you said, governorship support. It didn't just start now. It started since the democratic era began in 1999, when Abia State had the privilege to elect Ojun Zokalu as the governor. Then that was when the change began. That was when they started seeing support from the government, started seeing the structure. And it wasn't just owned by the state. The state also intentionally appointed somebody that would take them to the next level, Felix Ayansi, who just left the role recently. He's been there since 1999, 24 years of administration that has led to successes, not just domestically, but on the continent. These people have also won the CAF Champions League twice before, back to back. They've won the CAF Super Cup twice also, and they've also won the domestic cup 9 times. So successes are, they say your process leads to result. That's when you know that you're doing something.
When you're talking about the most successful clubs in a league, Enyimba would be the Real Madrid of the NPL in Nigeria, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. They've won it 9 times. So what else can we say? They've won it 9 times. They are defending, and let's not forget, they are also going to play in the finals of the Nigeria Super 8 currently going on, the pre-season tournament, against who are they playing? I think Remo Stars also. They are still in the finals of another tournament after a successful season in the regular season. Yes, people would say, oh, they finished third when it was a round robin event, and they went into the playoffs and won it. But if people say it like that, it look like anybody didn't really play well. If you check the table during the season, Enyimba scored the second most goals in the league. Only Plateau United, who finished 5th, scored more than them. They were also the second best defensive team. They considered, I think, 12 goals, just one less than Bender Insurance. So they actually played good football in the regular season, and in the playoff seasons, come on, 2 wins, 3 draws, and they won it. So over the time, good choices from the government has paid dividends on the pitch.
Well, you're right. Good decisions by the government has paid dividends. So Enyimba is a prime example of what can happen when government owns and runs the administration of a club, when it defers to competent hands to take over the management of the day-to-day. But the rest of the league isn't as shining an example as Enyimba is to the current model that currently exists. So if we are to move forward, is the best model going to be some kind of amalgamation or hybrid of public and private ownership?
So it doesn't necessarily have to be government owned. It just has to have a backup that is financially stable. I mean, even if you look at Europe once again, it's not all the clubs that are state-owned or government-owned. Some are individually owned. Some are owned by a conglomerate of individuals who have come together. Look at Wrexham City, that's owned by the Deadpool actor and one other guy. It was a partnership, and we can see a team in the 5th tier of English football gaining promotion and seeing visible progress, right? The same thing for Chelsea. Although people will say Chelsea had a bad season, but at least they've enjoyed single ownership. They are currently enjoying and they are currently enduring conglomerate ownership. It has happened everywhere. So in Nigeria, we don't have to wait for the government to come and take over. We should look for individuals that can come together. It's exactly what is going on at Enyimba. Enyimba are combining both. They have state-owned support led by the government, and they also have conglomerate support. Look at it now. Kano has joined them as the chairman. The Navy judge is also the head coach. Both of them had successes together as players, both for club and country, and now they are coming together as administrators. So Enyimba are combining every form of structure just to sustain this success, and we are going to see.
Well, you're definitely right. Enyimba is far ahead of everybody else. They're doing things the right way, and they're employing the right experienced hands to manage the day-to-day and to take the club forward. So going forward for every other club, it is the Enyimba model that is the way to go. It is the prime example for everyone else to follow, regardless of whether it is being funded by the government or by private hands.